Let's give you the markets update now. The local bourse looking set to contend with mostly weaker global trade this morning, with the rand flat in early trade. But it's gained almost 2% over the past week. Let's get more insight now on how the markets are shaping up. On this Thursday, we speak to Lesedi Mabuza. She is at Sentio Capital, an equity analyst there. Lesedi, good morning to you. Give us a sense of how the JSE is performing in early trade ahead of that crucial European Central Bank policy announcement that's expected later.
Good morning. We do expect the JSE today to trade weaker throughout the day, and this is mostly on the back as we saw your Asian markets trade weaker coming into today. And also on the back of a recent news announcement by China saying that they have to put Shanghai into lockdown again as your COVID cases are surging, your Omicron COVID cases are surging, and it is of a concern. This is obviously negative for our markets as we do have big value stocks such as your Naspers and Process, which are already trading lower this morning, impacting the overall market. And all of this is ahead of the European Central Bank policy announcement that we expect later today. I mean, obviously, with increasing inflation globally, especially in the Eurozone, it is mapping the ground for your ECB to hike interest rates this year. But currently, we aren't sure by how much the ECB will be increasing interest rates hikes right now. But the market is currently pricing in about 75 beeps by September. So I do think that ECB announcement is a key indicator today to see where they will be going along with other markets such as the US and ourselves here in hiking interest rates.
Yeah, let's talk commodities, specifically oil and gold. Your overall picture there, what are your impressions?
I'll say overall, obviously the announcement by China placing Shanghai into lockdown is hampering that commodity market, especially oil. Oil is down slightly, I think, by 30.3%. And this is on the back of, obviously, it traded higher as China was coming out of lockdown, meaning higher consumption of fuel. So now with this announcement of Shanghai going to lockdown, that is hampering the recovery of that fuel consumption, therefore reducing that commodity oil price currently at the moment. And then with gold, this week, gold has been trading rather flat based on your higher treasury yields in the US. And I think for it to move drastically, markets are awaiting a key data point, which is the US inflation rate on Friday for the month of May. And I think if that is in line, so we currently are expecting about 8.3%. And if it does come out higher, then you can expect the US to hike more into the year, later into the year, which would mean you'd have a stronger dollar. And as we see during the year, when you have a stronger dollar, gold is usually out of favor.
Yeah. Let's talk company news briefly. Mr. Price publishing its preliminary results for the 52 weeks, which ended on the 2nd of April 2022. How are their numbers looking?
Overall, just to comment out there, I think Mr. Price results were really good, really strong. You have revenue increasing by 23%. You had your retail sales increasing by 26%. And it's also important to remember that Mr. Price did do acquisitions recently. So they acquired Power Fashion and they acquired Yuppiechef, which are currently included in those numbers. So if you exclude those two acquisitions, you have retail sales increasing by 16%, which shows that the existing business is still trading really well and overall volumes are performing well. And you can see this through them gaining market share in the period. So the group did gain about 1.4% market share in this trading period. And just to go into the divisionals that performed really well were your apparel, which increased 31%, and your homeware, which also increased 15.6%. And just to comment on the homeware, remember there was a construction DIY boom that happened during COVID lockdown. So we've been through the phase of where people were constructing homes or constructing offices. We've been through the tiling phase. And I think currently right now we're at the end of that cycle where people are still decorating their homes and furnishing their homes. Hence, you are seeing the homeware doing really well. But overall, these positive results resulted in your diluted headline earnings per share increasing 20% to 525 cents. And I mean, Mr. Price is a defensive company. They are a retailer that consumers do trade down into during tough times as we have now, with higher food pricing, higher fuel pricing, and also higher interest rates at the moment, meaning less disposable income for your consumers. So these set of results are really positive and continue to do well.
Yeah, let's wrap it up with Zara owner. It's called Inditex, and they reporting their highest profitability in a decade. What are they doing right?
Now, that is definitely some good news. So Inditex is a Spanish fashion retailer, and the group did report its highest profitability a decade as they have been offsetting those they've been offsetting inflation with tighter cost controls. So you saw sales increasing 36%, which did beat markets in quarter one. You saw operating profit increasing 82%, phenomenal results. And you saw your gross profit margin reaching your 10-year record. But just to comment more on the results, Zara is a brand that has pricing power. I mean, they are very popular amongst your higher earning individuals, and that shows that there is still demand for their products. And how they've also achieved better operating profit margins is that they have decided to increase their inventory levels to about 27%, which is higher than normal. And this enabled them to hit two birds with one stone, whereas you are enabling sufficient supply for your customers, which doesn't impact those volumes. And you're also saving costs, whereas you don't have to pay higher to constantly or desperately bring in that stock. So definitely is a good strategy that is working out for them.
Lesedi Mabuza, thank you very much. She is with Sentio Capital, an equity analyst there.